It is the animal in Minnesota that generates the most love and hate. Wolves are an iconic part of our landscape.
And tonight we begin Wolf Week, a series of reports about all things that have to do with wolves. Randy Meyer joining us. And Randy, you cover a lot of ground in all 4 seasons gathering these reports.
We did, from Isle Royale to the northern reaches of Minnesota. The issues surrounding and interest in the wolf are far-reaching. It's a complex and interesting animal that most people love to see and hear. And there's a place in Minnesota where you can do just that. Much like the wolves themselves, the International Wolf Center sits tucked about as deep and far north in the Minnesota woods as possible. On the outskirts of Ely, the International Wolf Center houses the answers to every imaginable wolf question you might have. It's also home to some of the most majestic predators you'll ever see face to face. Both inside and out, the often feared and misunderstood wolf teaches here. 40,000 visitors a year wander through the exhibits here at the International Wolf Center. It's really as close as you can get to wolf in the wild without actually being in the wild of any place on earth. And the hope is that those 40,000 people leave here with a better understanding of and appreciation for the wolf. Throughout Minnesota's history, understanding and appreciating the wolf has been rare at times.
They're a very complex predator. And
Rob Schultz runs this place and believes the wolf is a wildly misunderstood animal. So Rob, what is the biggest misconception about wolves that you often have to clear up here?
A lot of people come here and they're worried about, is it safe to be outside, out in the woods with wolves? Will they attack me? And that's an understandable fear, but really it doesn't happen. It's so rare. You'd probably be more apt to hit the Powerball than be attacked by wolves out in the wild. So,
arguably and mostly through ignorance, storytellers, artists, and authors did the wolf a disservice over the decades. A monster was created, and as these black and white photos show, that monster was killed by the thousands, not just in Minnesota, but around the world. The focal point inside the Wolf Center is this exhibit of mounted timber wolves showing visitors what wolves actually do in the wild. Things like hunt, eat, play, and sleep, and above all, avoid humans.
And that's one of the magic things that happens here, because wolves are so hard to see in the outdoors. Most people think that you can see a wolf like you can see a deer, but the reality is that doesn't happen. Wolves avoid humans at any cost.
Since wolves are so hard to see in the wild, the Wolf Center provides more than just a glimpse. This outdoor enclosure enables researchers and visitors from around the world, often from just inches away, a chance to learn, dispel myths, and just plain wonder at one of nature's greatest predators. What kind of behaviors would people see here?
You're going to see a lot of things. What happens, we spend a lot of time socializing these wolves. So you'll notice about 200 different behaviors that wolves will demonstrate here in front of the public that they would normally do out in the wild.
Life in this ambassador wolf pack mimics the social hierarchy found in wild wolf packs. This is Aiden. He's big and he runs the show, but he's aging.
He's the alpha male. He's been the alpha for, I think, about 7 years, and we're getting really close to a change in leadership. The younger ones are starting to take their position and challenge him, and so in the months ahead, we're likely going to see that flip.
What happens to this wolf then?
He will actually go to a retirement enclosure. In the wild, when there's an overtake of that leadership position, wolves will typically leave the pack.
Today, the world knows more about wolves than ever before. Not so much the scary creatures of fables and children's storybooks, rather, as told by this place, just a resilient animal of the North Woods that has done a better job of tolerating man than man has of it. Now, Wolf Week continues tomorrow night at 9 when we take a historic look at man's relationship and attitude toward the wolf in Minnesota. Simply put, for most people, it's a dramatic shift from the early days of the last century to now. Wolves reviled to revered, that's tomorrow night. Kelsey?